How do you bring that kind of confidence? Like maybe it's very helpful for somebody who have a huge stage fright or even facing people.
It was not always like this. I actually had a lot of stage fear. I always wanted to be a skater. Everybody was saying, no, you have to start young, it's too late for you. And then eventually I was like, why am I even listening to others? I want to skate now.
So you are an expert.
I'm not
Still
an
not.
expert by all means. Our body knows how to heal, knows how to regenerate. We don't have to do even anything. You have to just keep yourself happy and your body is going to heal.
In a world where people are caught up in work and routine, she brings a new perspective on what it means to actually live. So let's welcome Denitsa to this podcast.
Hey everybody. Hi Vish.
Hey, um,
Thanks for inviting me to the podcast. I'm very excited already.
okay, so maybe I'll start with I already introduced you briefly that you're an artist. You also are a Pilates trainer, you're a dancer. I know that you're also a singer too, to an extent now.
Unofficially, that's
Yeah.
just a passion.
Is there more to you?
I think there's more to everybody that we know, a part of the roles that they assign themselves to play in life. So I'm also a photographer occasionally. Recently, I did also some videography projects, which I'm planning to expand maybe in the future. Let's see. And without planning it, I also became an aquatherapist during my last travel in Thailand.
Okay.
So I think there are more and more layers that
That is
add up to one personality. So
you're still
let's say this is the roundup for the moment.
one of the reasons I was very intrigued with the conversation I had maybe the last time was around the way you looked at life as such, because I think your perspective will add a lot of value in terms of how people are now struggling with mental health. So what I realized is maybe I was maybe telling about myself at that time that I'm head of engineering or something, and I'm maybe chasing money for the time being. And then you said, "What's there to chase so much?" Right? So that made me think about okay, the perspective that maybe you'd be having in terms of how to even manage or look at money, right? So that's something maybe I want to also know from you.
Well, the subject of money, that's an interesting one. For sure, I grew up in Eastern Europe and then I moved to Western Europe. And Western Europe, especially Germany, where I spent 10 years of my life, is a country which is very materialistically oriented, to say the least. I love money, don't get me wrong. I enjoy everything that could be bought with money. But I had to figure it out very quickly for myself that spending my whole life, my energy, all my time in a job with the goal to earn more money, I didn't really see where it's leading because okay, society tells you need more, and then you need a better car, a better apartment, better clothes, brands, I don't know, to give you the respect. Then, okay, you need to be respected for that. But I have a little bit a different approach to that. I think life is there to be enjoyed, and we have limited time, even if it doesn't look like our life could end tomorrow. We don't know. And if we keep postponing the things for, oh, when I finally have enough money, when I finally have met the love of my life, when I finally have a family, when I have checks on all those goals, then I can start enjoying my life. And what if it doesn't come? What if it doesn't happen? So, in my opinion, money is means to experience activities or pleasures that you would like to experience. So I love to travel, so I spend my money on traveling.
When did you have a change of mind, at least, where you realized this is where I don't need to chase money? Or you were always been like that, that I need to live my life but not really worry too much about money?
I took actually quite a long time to figure it out. I was trying different things in my life, and at one point I had 3 jobs to kind of finance my studies in Germany.
Okay.
And then you realize how much effort you put in something that you not necessarily enjoy. Of course, there are jobs that you love to do. I don't know if there was a specific point where I decided, okay, I'm going to change my life. It was more of a gradual process where I discovered, okay, I want to definitely do something that makes other people happy and helps other people. And that gives me also joy. And like a round package, of course, pays some money so I can finance all my goals and dreams. And
Okay.
all the crazy ideas that I get suddenly, and I'm like, okay. I had, for example, a moment, I always wanted to be a skater, but then everybody was saying, no, you have to start young, it's too late for you. And then eventually I was like, why am I even listening to others? I want to skate now. So I just went and bought myself a skateboard. So I had the freedom, like I had the money in my pocket. And then I got the skateboard and went skating.
So you are an expert?
I'm not an expert by all means.
But you are.
I can do a few tricks and I can roll around.
Okay.
And
That just.
I like the idea about it. It's fun.
So I think whatever I understand is unknowingly or knowingly you are adding on to a lot of skill sets which might add value to your life along with help you making money on the go. Maybe I'm wrong, but is that how you look at life and money, or even is that how you look at work-life balance? Because for let's say somebody like me or my counterparts who are maybe from the tech industry, we are really struggling with work-life balance because our life is entangled with work in a way that you can't really disconnect it, where it might lead to a burnout at one point. And that's where you decide, okay, enough is enough. But for you, how do you look at that? Like, what I see is that you are adding more and more skill sets every day, which you are also enjoying. And then I don't think that will lead to ever a burnout in your, at least your work too.
I hope not. But anything that you do excessively, when you get obsessed with something, of course you get really good at it and you could achieve excellence on one hand. But then what is the price? Like you get completely off balance. Work-life balance, yeah, this is a topic which is important not only in your industry, I think in any industry. I believe that if you neglect even one area of your life, like you feel the off balance, which results in worsened health, unhappiness, unfulfillment, anxiety, problems with sleep, problems with addictions, any kind of addictions like eating disorders, etc., etc. So, as Buddha said, find the golden middle and don't forget any area of your life. For example, personal development, relationships, physical fitness, and then very important to take always time for your hobbies and your passions. Yeah. This is one thing that is super neglected because people feel like they need to deserve it. You don't need to deserve anything in life. You can have whatever you want and you are the one giving the shots.
Interesting.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I just believe that a lot of people, maybe too high of a percentage, they believe that things happen to them and that they're forced in that situation in which they are, which they might find uncomfortable for whatever reason. Some people don't have enough money, some people don't have enough friends, they feel bad in their body. Like, there are different topics. I think every one of us has those. Even people who seem to be having it all, also they have struggles.
Yeah.
And the reason is because we give away our responsibility to all the circumstances and to all the other people. Many people like to say, oh yeah, because I grew up in a country like this, or yeah, my family was like this, or I didn't have family. So everybody tries to find excuses, but doesn't want to take the responsibility for their own lives. And this is where the change happens, when you decide, okay, what it is that I need right now. I'm not going to harm anybody in my family or neglect anybody, but I need to take care of myself first, of my needs, my physical needs, my emotional needs, maybe I need rest, maybe I need 1 month of vacation, maybe 1 year. Why not?
I have a thought around it, yeah, but it's an interesting thought, and I think that's a good direction to take to when it comes to, let's say, mental health. Like you said, if you are burned out, it's important to take that break to energize yourself and come back. But is it so easy for everyone to do it? Because again, you said regions or countries cannot be an excuse for this, but I have read a book, it's called Psychology of Money, where this is addressed that you cannot always put yourself in the shoes of somebody else without knowing what they are going through. Maybe, I don't know, that could be one reason that maybe at least some people like in Southeast Asia, like India, or maybe any other country like Bangladesh or Pakistan, Sri Lanka could be, that they have a different way of looking at life, which is maybe around money. Right? I'm trying to understand, is it just culturally within you, with your upbringing, that you have this mindset change in you, or it just happened?
In my nature, I'm questioning mostly everything. I can get easily convinced, but I question and I test a lot of theories. I also love to read books, and sometimes I'm doing self-help programs in different topics. But the thing that I've learned is, whatever knowledge you get, maybe you resonate, maybe not, test it and see if it works for you. It's the same for food. One food can make me super healthy and happy, and I tell you, oh, this is the best food, you need to eat it. But your body is in a completely different state. So for you, it could be harmful. It could bring you off balance, the same food, right?
Yeah.
So it's super individual for everybody.
Yeah.
And about your previous question with the culture where we grow up and what is the background, even religious background or whatever is happening around us, we have the choice in any given moment. It doesn't matter where we are, in what circumstances we are. It doesn't matter which religion, which culture, which financial situation, which health situation. We have the freedom to choose how to feel, how to react to all of this. And it's much easier than you think. At the beginning, it seems very, very hard because you have lived a certain way for a very long time. And you have thought certain thoughts for a very long time, which has a momentum. It's like a habit. So when you repeat one habit all over again, all over again, all over again, it becomes you. You are
and
this
it's
habit.
difficult to break out of it.
It's difficult in the means of, because you need to all over again concentrate on the new topic or on your new goal. but much faster than you think, you would gain momentum in that direction. And if you concentrate only on what you want to achieve and not on what is going wrong, then you will get very quickly there. But what we do is we keep looking at what is right now and we think about it, right?
Yeah.
And we look at it and think about it. And it's logical because it's all around us. So I think we need to be more dreamers, to imagine more, to dream more, and to get excited more, to think more about the goals that we want to achieve, to the states that we want to be in, how we want to feel, how we want to look, how we want to be perceived from everybody around us, then what is wrong?
Is it so easy, or it's just Denitsa who can do it?
It is easy. I tell you. Denitsa, maybe it looks super easy on me because I've trained it a lot and I practice it a lot. But it takes literally 17 seconds to turn around your thoughts. People think, okay, it doesn't matter what I'm thinking because it's not changing. My circumstances, they stay the same. It's just because in the past, your circumstances stayed very constant for the very reason that you keep thinking the same thoughts. If you analyze your thoughts, what you're thinking about today, make an experiment.
Yeah.
Try, write down maybe only 5 thoughts. And tomorrow, see, are you going to think about those things? And you will. I'm telling you, you think exactly about the same thoughts tomorrow. And if you're not aware, you do it also the day after, and the day after, and the day after. And then on one side, you want to have change in your life, but then you keep thinking the same thoughts. So those same thoughts make you do the same actions that you do every day. So you don't really bring any change. And then after some time, you would say, it's not working for me. This I cannot change. This is just who I am. No, it's not who you are. You just don't want to put the little effort to try to feel a little bit better right now, to accept what it is, and to try to see the positive side instead of all the negatives. I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And interesting one too, because you also mentioned identify yourself who you are. One of the bigger problems I see, at least in what is happening right now, or maybe it's just happening all this while, is that you try to identify yourselves through the title that you are right now holding. And let's say I'm a head of engineering, so that's, but I don't believe that it's more, there are more layers to you than that. But is there also something which is stopping people from growing from where they are? How do you see yourself? Maybe I'll put it on, like, do you identify yourselves through some title, or I'm an artist, I'm a photographer, or how do you identify yourself?
I always have difficulties when somebody asks me, what are you doing? And then I'm asking another question like, right now? And then I say, I'm sitting here and talking to you, I'm breathing, I'm feeling the fan fanning my feet, I'm seeing the flickering of the candle. This is what I'm doing right now. Or you ask me, what did I do last month, 5 years ago, what I'm going to do next year? There are 1,000 different answers to this question. So it needs to be specific. Because I don't believe we should be identified by our job only, or by our achievements, or by our family, or our car, or our kids. They don't identify, they don't say who I am, because they're themselves. And they have the freedom, and they should have the freedom to do what they want to do with their life. You can be there to give an example, to give an advice if they want it, because any forced advice backfires. I guess by now everybody should know that.
Yeah, you already mentioned before this podcast. I don't want to enforce any of my views because these are my views. I don't want anyone to get influenced too, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah, this is my opinion, my philosophy, that if somebody wants to know and wants to see a different perspective about something they're struggling with or they want to achieve, it really helps to see a different perspective or to see the bigger picture. But I'm not convincing anybody to do anything what I'm saying, and I would advise just to test it. If anybody hears something inspiring and they say, oh, I want to try that, try it and see how it works for you. Don't give up too early, don't judge. This is as well another thing, that we're in a society where everybody has their opinion.
yeah.
Even if they have never done, for example, Pilates.
Which I was calling pilates.
Pilates, yes. Pilates, pilots, the P word. Everybody has an opinion because they have seen something somewhere, somewhen, or they have read one article about a topic and they have an opinion already. So somebody comes and says, oh, I'm a photographer. And then you say, oh, okay, my sister is a photographer. So I know it's a very difficult job, and then you don't get jobs and like they don't pay because you have only this version in your mind. You have only experience in your life, in your circumstances. You have only seen that version, that your sister is a photographer that struggles with that.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily the truth.
You're always relating
Like,
with
because
somebody who's struggling.
much prejudice about everything because they look it through a very narrow lens, only from what they have experienced. So they tend to judge very quickly, or to not be open to receive what that person is bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Then you say, oh, you're a photographer, okay, then you're also struggling. But maybe that person that you're talking to is the greatest photographer, and like they have thousands of clients and they are actually millionaire. And you don't know unless you let them tell you and show you.
Yeah, I think that's also really what makes even our parents decide for us at least the early days, that, oh, that guy is not really doing well, don't chase that job which he's doing. He might not really make good there, but yeah, I think one of the reasons maybe I'm an engineer is that it was influenced by maybe my parents saying, okay, either be a doctor or an engineer, nothing. You cannot be an artist. You cannot be an artist. It does not pay well. But yeah, like you said, it's judgmental about what people are and how they are. At least, is there any hope there or not? They don't really know, because they only seen that, not the other version who are really making it their presence felt, right? So yeah, that's a good thought again. So also one aspect of your social media which I keep seeing is that I feel it's again a perception. I feel that you are living your life day on a single day basis, maybe, like keep maybe looking at your life every day instead of having a goal. Is that true, or you're also chasing a goal for yourself?
Of course, social media is very one-sided, and it's just one layer. Not, in some cases, not even a layer. It's just very focused view on somebody. And each person who is on social media or not, like, is so much more than that. And of course, for me, it's fun to share my adventures.
Do you use it for your work?
They double up when I share them. I have the feeling.
Okay.
But I definitely have my long-term goals, and I believe we should enjoy the moment, be in the moment, enjoy every day. and be present. But as well, it's very important, especially for the mental health, to have long-term goals. Even if you're successful in one area, let's say you have reached the highest level in your job, whatever you can reach. You have learned everything, you have done all the courses, and then you have all the money, etc., etc., and then you can still feel unfulfilled. Why? Because you stop growing. Our nature, it's inevitable. If you want it or not, we are beings that want to expand, and we keep wanting. We want. And what I have observed in myself and my friends, and I think every person experiences this sooner or later, that eventually you're like, you want so much, and when you realize it, then you are overwhelmed, and then you only notice that you're not getting the goals. Like you have too many goals and not enough time or not enough resources, and then you start feeling frustrated. Instead of just noticing, okay, I'm on the way there, and the way is actually what I enjoy. Let's say you're a painter. What most humans want is, oh, I have a goal, I have a vision, I want it right now. And if you don't want it, you start feeling discomfort, right? And you're unhappy and dissatisfied. Even you can get depressed because you want so much this thing, but you don't get it because you keep noticing it's not there, and like there's this struggle and try so hard. But let's come back to the example with the painter. So the painter wants to paint, I don't know, a landscape.
Okay.
And then landscape is there. And the painter's, oh, okay, what next? A portrait, okay, it's there. Whatever, I'm gonna draw some abstract art, okay, it's there. But where is the joy? The painter is not a painter because it needs the end result. The painter is a painter because they enjoy painting.
Yeah.
They like to be consumed in the process. They like to paint for hours and hours. They like to discover new techniques, to mix new colors. And I think this is, in a nutshell, what our life is about. To, through our experiences, to figure out what we want and to turn in that direction, start walking and start doing it and enjoy that. And when we reach it, we already have another goal, much bigger, or different, or in a different direction.
But how do you keep identifying those goals?
You don't need to, like, your life helps you to identify them. We have this internal system that we know. We know, I like this, I don't like this. I see a color, I like that color. No, I hate that color. Nobody came and told you, oh, this color is nice, you should like it. Your mom can come and tell you 1,000,000 times, you should like yellow, but you hate yellow. And every time you see yellow, your stomach turns. She can tell you 1,000,000 times more to like it. No, you have your personal preferences. No, you like purple or whatever. Like an example, very simple example with the color, but with food.
Yeah.
Everybody has preference. Some people hate tomatoes, others love tomatoes.
But it can also be acquired taste, right?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, your point is...
my point is that...
You like this, go towards it.
Yes, my point is that whatever you experience, you keep seeing so much. Every day we have millions of impulses. Like, we're even overwhelmed with all the visual, sound aspects. We're beings of senses. We hear, we taste, we smell, we feel ourselves. And all of the senses gives us constant sensory information, and we decipher this very quickly, and we know so exactly what we prefer and what we don't prefer. But we get lost a lot of times because there is the society that says, oh, that art was estimated for $12 million. So that must be a good art, right? And then there's another art that somebody says, oh, this is super infamous artist, nobody knows about, he doesn't even have Instagram profile, so no, we're not paying even $10 for this. So we tend to put value on things according to what others think or what the group thinks, or our family or society or our friends. And instead of feeling inside, which is super accurate every time, we go and ask our friend, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then we have an idea for a business. And the moment it comes, we're so excited about it. Oh, that's the best idea. I will have so much fun. I'll make so much money. It will be so cool. And then we start thinking, but is it a good idea? And then we start asking for opinion.
You need validation.
Yeah, we need this validation, but everybody has completely different opinion on that. They don't see what we see. They don't have the skills that we have. They don't have the knowledge that we have, the experience that we have. So they have completely different opinion. But when we listen to this, then easily we're like, maybe it's not such a good idea. Maybe I'm not gonna earn with that. Maybe people are going to ridicule me about it. And then we forget about the idea. And probably, most probably, if you are in a good state when you received, in a happy state when you received that idea, high likely it was really $1 million idea, which would make you happy and help so many other people. So it's important to stay centered and to ask first yourself before asking anybody else. And once you start doing something that you enjoy, people are going to come and appreciate it anyway.
Yeah.
So the validation should come first from yourself and not from outside. So that's one thing I had to learn also.
Yeah, I think this was around the topic of goals. So you were a little abstract in terms of choosing colors of food, right? But let's say in general, so if somebody wants to pursue their goal, as an example, do you have anything which you will be able to share from your past which you had as a goal and then you ended up achieving? Like, what was
I have many examples on this.
Some instincts which led you drive in that direction?
Well, for example, I grew up in a very small town, village, somewhere in between a town and a village, actually.
In Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
We never mentioned.
Yes, I'm from Bulgaria, exactly. And there were certain ways to follow, or patterns, how your life should develop. You go to school, then 2-3 years before you finish school, you have to already know what you want to study, because you need to take extra preparational classes.
You wanted to know, not your parents?
No, this is like the typical way things happen, at least at that time. Probably now things have changed. And then you go to study, and then you finish your studies, and then you have like a diploma that says, okay, you're now a doctor, engineer, whatever. And then this is your chosen path, then you start that job, and you have to climb
up the
ladder and eventually become good and respected and have security. So this is kind of an example. So in my case, I had absolutely no idea what I want to study or what I want to become. And most of my friends, they already have decided, they were already visiting their extra courses to prepare for the exams to get into that specific university. And even in the last year of high school, I still didn't have any idea what I want to do. So I was figuring out things. I went even to the university of my brother to visit him to experience how it is.
Okay.
And eventually, after changing my mind for maybe 5 or 6 times, I told myself, okay, I'm going to go to study to Germany.
Why Germany was looked up as an aspiration where you can.
No, this is a little bit longer story. I was going to a language school in Bulgaria, and because until the 7th grade I've already learned English, so it was boring for me. Then okay, I need to switch. And then they say, okay, they are very good teachers for German, so I switched to German. So I started learning German in that school. I didn't really have any goals apart of trying to visit all possible classes that I hear about. Like there were some art classes or music classes, dance classes in my town, so I would just sign up and go and try it out. And then eventually I got into that language school studying German, and they took all the students who had like excellent grades or were good in the language, and they said, okay, we're putting you in an advanced group where you have to stay after school like for more hours and learn more language. And then I was okay, and why are we doing this? They said, okay, in the end you're going to get the German diploma, like language certificate. And I was okay, fine. I enjoyed. Sometimes I was asking myself, why am I doing this? But I kept doing because it was also fun. And when we finished, and eventually I got my certificate, and then I asked them, okay, so what can I do with the certificate now? And they're okay, there are 3 options. So one is you just keep it, and when you finish your studies, and after, I don't know, 3-5 years, when you start applying for jobs, it's going to be a plus for you. You say, oh, I have the certificate, I know German, so you show them the certificate, it's going to be a plus, so maybe they're going to take you. And I studied so many hours extra to have a maybe after 5 years. Like, no, I don't like this. And then the other one was, okay, maybe you want to continue studies with language, so it's already helping you to get that exam. Like, I don't want to study anything with language. At that point I'm just doing it for fun. And then the third option was, okay, it's giving you the right to study in one of the countries, Germany, Austria or Switzerland, which you wouldn't have otherwise if you don't have the language certificate. I thought, okay, going for that. I had this mindset that I'm not doing anything for nothing. Back then,
you have to find some value out of it.
Exactly. You could not force me to do anything without me knowing why am I doing this, what I'm going to get out of it. Now I have a little bit different opinion on this because you get the pleasure out of it. And back then I was more of a, okay, I need to get something out of it. Why am I doing it? So I can tell you funny stories from in school. I was never writing my homeworks because why should I write a homework? Because they're going to ask only 2 people in the class to read that homework, and then I'll put my effort and time for nothing. So if they would call me out to read my homework, if we had to write something, then I would just pretend I'm reading it, and then I would make it up in that moment. Or I would write homeworks for other people because they were paying me or giving me food. So I was...
So that has changed now, is it?
Probably a funny person back then. Yes, right now I have a different motivation. I believe whatever you do, you should first do it because you want to do it. Even if your motivation is, sometimes you do things for other people. and you want to see them happy. Even if you just want to see somebody smile, then I would do something
So
for
you're
you.
not earlier used to attach a lot of value. I need value out of everything. If I can even earn out of it, then
Yes.
that was more important. But now we have extended it to maybe even it's more like sharing now,
To
right?
the joy
Joy of
of
getting
sharing, yes.
happiness out of it.
I was last week in Hampi,
Hmm.
and I rented a bicycle. And then I was sitting in one restaurant, and I see my bicycle parked outside. I don't lock it. Why should I lock it? So chill, everybody's enjoying. And then I see this kid coming, looking at the bicycle, first touching it. I'm just watching him. I was just curious. And then I see him looking around. And one thought of, does he want to steal my bicycle? Because, yeah, kids, they can take things. In Laos, it happened to me that they stole our bag. But that's a different story.
Okay.
I tried to take it with humor, everything. And then I just see this kid and I'm very curious, okay, what is he going to do? And I see him really want to get on this bicycle. And for 1 second, then I got up, and for 1 second I was kind of going to scold him. And I went and, okay, what are you doing? And this kid was so scared. And then in the second moment I was, this is just a kid. We're like in no man's land, in the middle of the field. What is the kid going to do? And then I was, well, probably the kid wants to drive because it has no bicycle. And then I asked him, do you want to drive? To ride a bicycle? And he was, yes. I was, yeah, go. And I just told him, but just don't go too far and bring it back, okay? This happiness, it made my day, my week, my month. This kid was so happy just for riding the bicycle.
Yeah, it must be something big for him. But
Yes.
for you, it's like just sharing.
Yes, and then I remember that's actually why we're alive, because we enjoy things. And if we can help somebody else feel that joy, I also feel it. I was so happy only looking at this kid riding the bicycle. So,
Okay. Now, one topic again, it's on Pilates, which I was pronouncing as Pilates earlier. Yeah,
it's the pilot.
I figured it out yesterday while looking for the meaning. What is that? What that really is, and what are you really doing there?
In Pilates,
because I am a novice, I don't really know. I know it's related to physical health, but there are also aspects of mental health involved there. So curious to know what is that.
For many people, especially people that haven't tried it, it's just a set of physical exercise that would make you fit. And also another idea of it is many people think it's the sport that you need to do when you get problems with your back.
Okay.
So when your doctor advises you to go, they always advise, okay, go to Pilates, so they connect that. And many other people think it's only for dancers and women, which is a misconception, which happened through the circumstances. So Pilates is actually like a lifestyle. The founder of it, his name is Joseph Pilates. So his initial idea was to help injured soldiers in the Second War, World War II, to heal faster and to feel better. So there is Pilates on the mat. You can imagine it's similar to yoga, but there is also Pilates on the machines. There are machines called reformer and barrel, and
is that something which moves back and forth?
Yeah, the reformer it looks a little bit like a bed.
Yeah.
And there's a carriage, it's called carriage, that moves, and there are like springs with different resistance, which you change. And it's no coincidence that it looks like a bed, because initially all the machines that Pilates invented, they were mundane daily objects, like they were the bed where the injured soldier is laying, or he literally used barrow, like real barrow, to improve spinal mobility because it has this shape.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't tried, you should try it. It's like very beneficial. And also Joseph Pilates was promoting what we were talking about, this work-life balance. He was always saying, try to balance work and play. He was calling it work and play.
This was which year, by the way, when he was it long 10?
So bad with dates and years.
But maybe
it's not so
30,
long
40
ago.
years?
Like maybe 100.
100, okay. So
100.
people even had work-life balance issues even 100 years
They
back. Okay.
And he was promoting to get as much as possible sunshine because it helps to build the vitamin D and to regulate our nervous system. And the breathing in Pilates is very important. The deep breathing, he was calling it the internal shower. In our daily lives, we breathe very shallow. If you notice, you never really take deep breaths unless you're like super stressed and have to run somewhere. Maybe then you breathe a little bit deeper. But there are not many occasions on which you take deep breaths. And in Pilates, in the whole session, some of the teachers guide it, some not. There are different opinions, and I respect all of them. In my personal opinion, I like to guide the breathing, to put the attention on it, and to start the class with deep, long breaths, which has as a result that it saturates the whole body. After 1 hour of deep breathing, then parts of your body that didn't have enough oxygen, it has reached even there. So this is one of the reasons why many people feel so energized after the class, and it promotes the health of the organs. All the organs start working better when they get that blood flow and the oxygen. In Pilates, you try to come back to the ideal or close to the ideal alignment of the body, how it should be by nature. We're super adaptive, which is amazing part of the body. But if we do repetitive movements in a certain way, it could be that we start getting, I don't know, shoulder pain, or some hip pain.
Stress injury, right? It's repetitive stress injury.
Yes, or if you keep moving in a way which is not optimal, so you're not using both sides of your body, for example, left and right. One side is stronger, and whatever you do, you tend to always go to that side because you're more stable there. And the other side, which is weaker, is more prone to injuries. This is also the case for the spine. There are parts of the spine which are more rigid, more tight, and others which are more flexible.
Okay.
So if some part of your spine is really rigid and stuck, the parts just next to it take too much pressure and have to take the whole load of the body, so it's not distributed equally on the spine. So this is when the injuries happen, because there's too much mobility. And so what we try to do in Pilates is to distribute equally the forces throughout the whole spine, which prevents this type of injuries and also gives you ease in the movement. Then you can easily move in any direction. It improves your reactions, so you're much more alert. If you hear something here, then you turn quickly. You have better reactions. Also, the nervous system is connected to the spine, so your whole body benefits from there. If your spine is healthy and flexible, then your whole body will benefit from that.
Is it more? Is the whole Pilates aligned towards the spine and the core?
Those are very important parts, but it's actually a full body system.
But you can't really build big biceps muscles with that. It's like,
If you want, you can use weights, but that's not the goal.
okay, it's more
The
for
goal is functionality and that you feel good. I cannot keep repeating this enough because many people who try it for the first time, they said, that was nothing, like I didn't feel anything, I don't feel tired, I don't have pain.
yeah.
They have this concept that exercise should make you suffer and you should feel exhausted after that. In some cases, it may be good for your mental health. You need that cardio program or like to punching back. It's all good, but the goal of Pilates is to make you feel good in your body, that you really have no pain anywhere, that you feel energized, motivated, open to experience the world. It has so many benefits. Through the coordination, it's a very precise. So maybe you notice I get overexcited when I start talking about Pilates because I believe so much in the benefits of it. Because I've seen it in myself and also in my participants. One very important part that I want to mention is that any activity that makes you feel present, because for example Pilates is very precise. We give so many cues, like you need to keep your pelvis square and then move in exactly this way and isolate the movement and see that you don't. So you have to be aware from the whole, what your whole body is doing. And then you're so present in the moment, in your body, you forget completely about what's happening around you.
Like meditation also.
Yeah, in a way it's like an active meditation. And the other thing that happens is that your parasympathetic nervous system gets activated. So there is the sympathetic and parasympathetic, right?
Too technical, yeah.
Too technical. So the one system, how we operate as a human being, is we're either in fight and flight mode, we're stressed in modern terms, or we're in rest and digest. This is the state in which all the tissues regenerate, we digest our food, is the time for fun, for love, etc., etc. But because our modern lives put us in stress situations most of the time, like it's chronicle. Some people don't even know how to rest, they don't remember anymore. And which leads to the cause that your body has no time to regenerate. It's constantly, if you're in this fight and flight mode, back then when we were like cavemen, if a tiger is chasing you, it's very beneficial for you, right? Because it will save your life. So what happens in this fight and flight mode is that all the reserves in the body get used in very short time. So you had like this surge of energy.
Which is bad or good?
Which, if you're in real danger, is good. So you're gonna survive. But you're not. Your predator turns to be your annoying colleague, or your boss looking if you have done your work, or the cars. When you're crossing the streets, you try to not get hit by car. Anything can get, or you have a fight with your wife or whatever. So the predator is suddenly something that is not actually a real danger for you, but you're constantly, if you're around these people, or if you're doing something that you feel stressed about, you're constantly in this state of fight and flight, where all your resources are just used in very quick, how to say, not very useful way. And then you end up depleted, you're constantly tired, you're irritated easily, you feel anxious, you have fear constantly. because that system is active all the time from what you're doing. And
this sounds like
versus
more your day-to-day work, like at least for us every day we are in a fight and flight mode, maybe. Yeah,
we are a lot, yeah. And versus when you go to yoga class or Pilates class, or even if you do meditation, if you indulge in your favorite activity, that's why hobby is so important. Where you can really relax. Maybe you like to just listen to music, you like to go to concerts, maybe you like to play music or to sing or to do anything that's giving you peace. This is activating that other mode in which by nature we should be most of the time, where our body knows how to heal, knows how to regenerate. We don't have to do even anything. You have to just keep yourself happy and your body is going to heal. And yeah, of course there are some extreme medical conditions, but that's a different topic. And then in Pilates is a very, very quick way to go into that state, because you have the deep breathing. When you move your spine, also the spinal cord, all the nerves, this is also directly activating the parasympathetic nervous system. So deep breathing, calm, peace, movement of the spine, just releasing control.
So how often should somebody practice Pilates, and is there an age barrier?
I recommend people, if they try it out and they like it, because you should always do something that you enjoy. There are so many sports arts, but it should be enjoyable for sure. Start small. Start with 20-30 minute classes. Maybe even if you're curious, you can try it out on YouTube. By the way, I also have a channel where I've uploaded quite a few videos of my online classes, which I was giving when I was traveling through different countries, which may be interesting for you. It's called Denitsa Moves. And so try it out. And if you like it, you do 2 to 3 times a week. It's very good. If you get in love with it and obsessed like I was, or I still am, you could do it every day.
Yeah,
as much as you want, because it's not something that is going to exhaust you and wear you out, but rather the opposite. It can give you more energy and to inspire you.
Yeah, like you said, it's one of the biggest aspect of at least surviving the fight and flight mode that you're always on, right? So I
exactly,
think that's where it's going to be really helpful, which I also need to try out. Maybe I'll
you
start
should
looking in, because I know that you're not going to be accessible anytime sooner, so maybe I'll go to your YouTube channel and then
yeah, I would be
looking
happy if you enjoy it. And you were also asking about the age barrier. In Pilates, there's literally, truly no age barrier. Anybody can do it. I've been teaching classes also with children. Of course, the younger they are, the more difficult it is to capture and hold their attention. So it's very playful and creative, but it's still bringing the benefits of the Pilates class. And I've also taught classes with seniors or older people, which is very rewarding for me to see the joy they experience of regaining their mobility, their self-esteem, even the functionality of those moves. I will never forget how one of my participants came in the morning just before the class, and she was so excited, and she was, Denitsa, I need to tell you. And what happened? And she told me, I put my shoelaces by myself this morning.
Wow.
And at first I was like, okay, I was expecting something big, but it is big if you realize it. Like some people with age they lose the flexibility and the ability to do super simple things, like which are very normal for us. Like
Their day-to-day is impacted.
Yes, the day-to-day activities. This is so important that you don't have to rely on somebody else to do certain activities, like to put your shoes on, or I know some other people have difficulties going to shower, or like any physiological activities which should be normal, they can get difficult with time. But Pilates is an easy way to get back that functionality in your daily life.
So you're saying even somebody who has not been very active in their maybe in their elderly days, I'll call that.
Exactly.
Even they can come
Even
back
they
to.
can. And you know why? Because in Pilates, each exercise can be progressed as much as you want and regressed as much as you want. So there are modifications of the same move. When you understand the mechanics of the move, and then you see in what state is the body in front of you, then you can give them the exact version that they need. So the secret is to find that sweet spot between where the body is challenged to do something, but not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So it should be still a little bit hard for you. It's not too easy, because you're going to lose interest and then there is no point of doing it. So because you want to improve. So it should be a little bit challenged, and when you notice, oh, I'm already good at that, you go one level higher and one level higher. So gradually, controlled and safe, in a safe way, you improve the functionality of your body. It's not only about flexibility, that oh, I want to reach my toes and then while doing this break my back, like said in an extreme way. But in Pilates, the range of motion is very controlled. So even if I can bring my leg all the way, I don't know, overhead, okay, that's flexibility, but I'm not safe there. Like I can reach there, but how I cannot control it in the middle. So what we do, we make the people start small and control and get strong, control, get strong, and improve the flexibility together with the strength. So you have control and mobility at the same time. And then when you reach that point when you can still lift your leg so high, but then you can stop at any point.
So you mean I can
safe, like your joint is safe.
You mean lifting the leg just?
I was just giving an example for some move.
I want to really do that. I can't really do that. I've seen you do that on the floor. So yeah. If you are done with that thoughts, I have a very interesting question too, in terms of,
right,
like we mentioned about you being an artist. Where do you, or at least, where do you see yourself more aligned towards? Is it being an artist or being a Pilates trainer? I get this wrong always. It is Pilates trainer.
Yeah.
Why I ask is, I'll come to you, because maybe the reason is I've seen you on the event floor wherever you're performing like a main character. So somewhere I feel that's where your main, let's say, focus area is for you. Maybe that, or where do you see it?
I'm not either or. I guess I'm both. And I believe also that they are very close, interrelated. Pilates, as a practitioner, I also practice it for myself. It gives me the confidence in my dance, that I'm sure in my moves, that I know, okay, when I lift my leg and I want to be in that posture, I can trust my muscles and my body, and I'm not going to hurt myself. Or maybe you have seen me with the fire. I like to do the move where you go like overhead and like really bend backwards. If you don't hold your core and align everything, you can easily hurt the lower back or like have some problem with the shoulder or whatever. But then it gives me the confidence and the safety to perform better. And
Maybe one more
I would
follow-up.
also say that anybody doing any other sport or any other activity, if they additionally do Pilates, it would greatly benefit and help them achieve excellence in their other sports, be it golf or, I don't know, climbing, swimming, whatever.
I had a follow-up too, because why I stressed upon the art part, because when you perform, you, like I said, you own the floor, plus you have that energy which is unmatched, maybe, like you being the main character. I said, how do you bring that kind of confidence? Is it just inbuilt within you, or have you grown it? Maybe it's very helpful for somebody who have a huge stage fright or even facing people, right? But I have seen you own the space, so how do you even do that?
Thank you. That's nice to hear that it comes this way. It was not always like this. I actually had a lot of stage fear, especially at the beginnings when I started performing in front of any audience. More the bigger the audience, the bigger the stage fear, which with the time became less and less. How did I achieve this? I guess it's the repetition. So the more you get familiar with something, if you do something for the very first time, it's very natural that you feel intimidated by it and have like some nervousness or even fear.
So do you remember your first show where
Oh yeah. I was very, very nervous, especially the first time when we went on a big stage. It was in Nepal, in Kathmandu, in one of the biggest clubs in Nepal, and there were like 5,000 people audience. And I was okay. I knew, okay, we have trained the choreographies, we have set up the costume, makeup, everything is perfect, but still there is this nervousness. And yeah, and now it's surprising for me to realize I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, I know.
I think with repetition it comes. And about the confidence, and I find it funny that you name it that way, but in the end, all of us wear that. We're the main characters of our lives. Although it doesn't feel like this oftentimes. So I just want to share a funny concept that I developed for myself. It could be maybe helpful for some people to try it out.
Yeah, even for me, yeah.
So in any situation that I feel stressed, bored, annoyed, any mundane situation, for example, I have to sit for 15 hours in a bus, or something happened, something broke, all these situations which would usually cause you to feel bad, to feel sad, annoyed, or even angry. At one point, I don't even remember when, I made like an experiment for myself. Then I was telling myself, oh, I should just see it as if this is a movie, and I am the main character in this movie, and this is what's happening to the main character right now. So what would this character do right now? Let's say I'm in the bus. I cannot sit anymore because, you know, the body needs to move. So after 10, 11 hours, you know, you get these cramps and you just want to get up, but you cannot. And then you're like, oh no, you're the character which is overcoming these hurdles. And then you just put some music on, or even if you don't have music, you imagine it. And then look over the window and imagine, oh, now they're having this close-up shot where they're thinking about the meaning of their life. So they have to calculate their next steps. So I would literally do this. Then I'm like, oh, what I would do with my life next year? Or how do I imagine? Like something like this. Or another example, very fresh example actually. I was in one of those chill restaurants where you can sit down and relax and have your food and your drinks, and you leave obviously your shoes outside. And then I was so relaxed that I think I had a small nap in that restaurant. And when I woke up, to my big surprise, the baby doggies of the owners, he had like 2 small doggies, very cute. They have found my shoe and eaten the leash of it. But they were broken.
And you had posted about it, yeah.
And yes, I posted about it. And then I was having a lot of thoughts about it, because I thought usually I would get totally angry about that and sad, because those were my only shoes, and I was just the day before thinking, wow, those shoes are so great for traveling. They are very sturdy. They fit to any outfit, so I did great. Actually, literally one day before I was thinking that, and then the dogs came. And I was thinking, well, what should I cannot be angry at the dogs. They're babies, they don't know. And even if they were not babies, they don't know what value we put on our things. For them it was fun. So then I tried to see it from that perspective. Then I was, oh, this is gonna be probably super funny for people to see what's happening. So I just went and filmed my shoes and filmed the doggies. They're adorable, very cute doggies. And then it's all about perspective, how you see things in life. Also, lately I was reading a book about the Japanese culture. And they have, I don't remember the exact word, but they have a way how to fix broken pottery. So
Which book was it? Ishikai or something? No.
yeah, in Ichigai it's also written, but it's another book which now I cannot give you the exact title. Ichigo Ichi, it was called, which is about realizing that everything happens only once in this very moment. So you would not ever again experience exactly this moment.
Strong
And
thoughts.
to appreciate it. So they were presenting a concept which is quite famous, but maybe some people haven't heard about it. I forgot the name about it. But the meaning is, when a bowl or a cup breaks, instead of throwing it away, they would take a lot of time to stick it together, to glue it together. But in the cracks, they would not just put normal glue, they would put golden powder.
Wow.
Which makes it a very beautiful piece of art afterwards. So it elevates the value instead of
Depreciating.
exactly. It elevates it and makes it even better and even more beautiful. So it's a way to see when something bad happens, to not see it as a sad thing or like have bad feelings, but to use it as a chance to make something
Opportunity.
even
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
about it. And I was just thinking, oh, maybe I should put on my shoes some other color leash, like somehow to fix them. Instead of throwing them and buying new ones, I can just add more value to them, like to make them more interesting.
Make it a different fashion statement.
Yeah, to make a different fashion statement, exactly.
Yeah.
That was an idea. Yes, and also about our own experiences to try to make the best out of it, whatever happens in life.
Make the
Oh.
most out of it.
To make the most, and to try to see it from a different angle.
Yeah.
Another funny example that comes to my mind, that a lot of things got founded by accident or by bad luck. I just recently watched a video how Parmesan, the Italian Parmigiano was founded. Some company had like a huge amount of cheese, some other type of cheese that they could not sell, and they were about to have a big loss in the company because it was like a huge amount and it was going to spoil or something. And because it took longer time, I don't remember the exact story, but the end of the story was that they discovered a new type of cheese and they marketed it in such a way that now the whole world is crazy about it and they want to have it. But if that misfortune didn't happen, they would not have discovered that cheese.
Yeah, I think
So
there are a lot of instances like that where something was found to be solving something but ended up doing something else, like our mouthwash. I have heard stories of it being a toilet cleaner or something, but then it ended up being our mouthwash. So
yeah,
it's like somewhere you will find value somewhere else when it is sold in a different way. Yeah. So
exactly like my previous story that I was telling about how I went to study to Germany, right? Which I never rounded of why we do choices that we do. So that was an example. I was doing that extra language course and I didn't know why I'm doing it, and sometimes I found it annoying, but it turned out okay. It gave me the door to go to study in Germany. And then when I studied there, just give you a very quick example. I studied tourism and geography, and after finishing, I applied to so many jobs, and even if they're just slightly related to that, and I never even got one answer, not even invitation to an interview. I didn't even get an answer for my applications, and I was so devastated for a few months. I was thinking something is completely wrong with me in that situation. And then eventually I was okay, I'm going to do whatever I can do. So I went to Austria, did something completely else. And then while I was in Austria, I started thinking how to improve my chances to get a job. And then I was thinking, oh, maybe I should do some certification. And then I had the idea, but if I do certification, at least to do something that I enjoy doing. And this is how I did the certification for Pilates.
wow, so it comes back to
It
Pilates.
comes back to Pilates and how everything is connected, and how nowadays I'm every day grateful for all those people that nobody gave me an answer or invited me to interview, because otherwise I would force myself to go to do those jobs, even if I don't like them, but because I was convinced, okay, I studied this, I need to do that job. But it was the biggest blessing in my life that nobody invited me for interview, because it opened me the door for something that I totally love, and I believe, I guess that's what people say, that I'm talented and good at.
Yeah, I think that's one reason I mentioned in the beginning that it could be just Denitsa, not just Denitsa, it could be somebody who's as aspirational in terms of not looking at value always and then trying to go and see whether it's bringing happiness to you or somewhere it will translate to something value for everyone, right, including you. So I think this was a great discussion. I'm wanting to have more, but I know that you're going to travel to a different country. By the way, that itself will be a bigger topic to discuss, which is all the countries that you have traveled and the experiences that you would have had. But I don't want you to be staying any longer for this, because I know that you need to catch a flight in no time, right? So maybe with that, it was a great discussion. I really enjoyed.
Maybe for next episode.
Yeah,
Why not? That would be fun.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for your time and the energy, by the way.
Thank
Which
you
is
so much.
infectious in a good way. So I hope to see you soon in the next one.
Thank you for inviting me, and it was a big pleasure for me. Also, my first time, and
many more.
let's see. um, if I can say one thing to everybody watching, if you made it that far, if you have any doubts, just see, feel what you want to do, and try to do a little bit of it every day, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and enjoy the present moment. Thank you so much.
Thank you.